Hi everyone, my name is Tiana. Before I share this story, let me warn you, what started as the happiest moment of my life turned into the biggest lesson I never expected. So grab a seat, because this is a story about love, betrayal, and discovering my true worth. I still remember the day I signed that prenup. Tears were rolling down my cheeks, and in that moment, I believed I was protecting the man I loved, James, the man I thought I would spend forever with. His mother stood there, watching me sign, with this smug little smile, like she had just won. At the time, I thought I was proving my loyalty. I had no idea that just 3 months later, that same smile would disappear. Forever. Let me take you back to the beginning. 2 years ago, I was 28, working as a third-grade teacher at Lincoln Elementary. I wasn't rich, but I loved my job. Seeing a child's face light up when they understood something new, that was the kind of wealth that mattered to me. One Tuesday, I was sitting in a coffee shop grading spelling tests when I heard this warm, contagious laugh from the table next to mine. That's when I met James. He was handsome, in a tailored suit, with kind brown eyes. He introduced himself, and before I knew it, we had been talking for 2 hours. James was different, or so I thought. He wasn't just an investment banker. He seemed genuinely interested in my world. For the next 6 months, we were inseparable. He brought me coffee at work, helped decorate my classroom, and made me feel like I was living in a fairy tale. But then, I met his family. His parents lived in this massive colonial mansion, marble floors, chandeliers, the works. His father was polite, but his mother, Patricia, greeted me with the kind of smile that never reaches the eyes. From the first dinner, I could feel her judgment. Every word dripped with condescension. Teaching must be rewarding spiritually, she'd say, emphasizing the word spiritually, like what I earned financially made me less. Still, I told myself, if I just show her love, she'll come around. Then James proposed. It was magical, on the same park bench where we had our first date. I cried, said yes, and thought I was living my dream. But when we shared the news with his parents, Patricia's first words weren't congratulations. They were, well, I suppose we'll need to discuss a prenup. I'll never forget how my heart sank. The prenup wasn't just about money. It was designed to strip me of dignity. No claim to his assets, barely any support if we divorced. Nothing if I ever embarrassed their reputation. And James, he just sat there. He whispered, "It's just a formality, babe." But to me, it meant everything. Still, I signed it. With tears in my eyes, I signed it because I thought love was enough. But 3 months later, everything changed. My father, Robert, passed away from a heart attack. He had raised me alone since I was 5, working what I thought was an ordinary office job. At his funeral, I was heartbroken, clinging to James for comfort. But then, my father's lawyer handed me a key to a safety deposit box. Inside, I found documents, photos, and letters that revealed a secret my father had kept my entire life. He wasn't just an office worker. He was a tech entrepreneur who had sold his company in the 90s for billions. My quiet, humble father had been secretly worth nearly $3 billion, funding scholarships, charities, and programs to help others. And now, all of it was mine. Over $2 billion. I laughed and cried at the same time. Suddenly, that prenup Patricia forced me to sign wasn't protecting her son, it was protecting me. At the next family dinner, I didn't announce my inheritance right away. I dropped little hints about family business and assets. Patricia dismissed me with her usual fake smile. Then I slid the bank statements across the table. The room fell silent. Patricia's face turned pale. William nearly choked on his wine. And James just stared at the numbers in disbelief. "This must be a mistake," Patricia stammered. "Oh, it's not," I said. "My father was Robert Johnson, founder of Secure Flow Technologies. Maybe you've heard of it." The shift was instant. Suddenly Patricia was praising my family values. William wanted to discuss business strategies. Even James's sister wanted to be my new best friend. But James, he wasn't proud. He was ashamed. ashamed that he had let me sign that prenup, ashamed that he hadn't defended me, ashamed that his girlfriend was now worth more than his entire family combined. He asked, "Why didn't you tell me?" I looked him in the eye and said, "Because I needed to see who you were when you thought I had nothing." That was the end. Our relationship faded because James couldn't handle it. He didn't love me for me. He loved the idea of saving me. And when the roles reversed, he couldn't take it. Eventually, I gave him back the ring. I kept the prenup, not as bitterness, but as a reminder never to let anyone make me feel small. A year later, I started the Robert Johnson Foundation, helping children from underserved communities. I built a school, and I still teach, because that's who I am, not because of the money I inherited. And yes, I've found love again. This time with a man who had no idea about my wealth when we met. A man who values me, not my bank account. You see, my father left me money, but more importantly, he left me a lesson. That true worth doesn't come from wealth. It comes from knowing your value, even when others can't see it. Patricia's prenup was meant to protect her son. In the end, it protected me. So, if you take one thing from my story, let it be this: never let anyone make you feel less because of where you come from. Your value isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in strength, dignity, and the love you carry for yourself.